Hey, yo.
From the WWE.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
To TNA. And Ring of Honor.
We've got you covered. So crack open a few beers.
Give me a hell yeah.
Ask yourself 3 words.
Are you ready?
And get ready for the best wrestling podcast this side of the Second City. And if you don't believe us, just ask Ric Flair. Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah.
The Wolfpack.
2.
The Rock.
If you're some man!
The list goes on and on. We're talking about the current state of professional wrestling, some old school professional wrestling, and everything in between. Mix in a little bit of the WWE network as well, and you've got the perfect storm. It's
the voice of the voiceless
wrestling podcast here on Windy City Underground.
Sean Lang here with the voice of the Voiceless Professional Wrestling Podcast. In the month of December, I got a special guest here in studio, Tony Scarpone. He's a Chicagoland promoter for several years of many different professional wrestling organizations, but currently he is the promoter of PW Blitz and a big show coming up December 19th, PW Blitz. Thank you very much for joining us on the Voice of the Voiceless Pro Wrestling Podcast today. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, except for the fact that I'm in downtown Chicago, and I hate coming down here, so thanks for the invite.
Why? It's a great city, man.
Yeah, it's a great city. I'm a suburb boy. I don't like coming down to this crap.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many good things about
Yes,
Chicago.
there's so many
Especially
great
downtown.
things.
No, there's really.
Weren't you just
You got shootings and
But they don't shoot in Joliet.
they don't shoot in Joliet. Yeah, protesters. Look at all this stuff. Fuck, that's too crazy.
Yeah.
Mayors.
Well, we thank you very much for being on this show. And what brings you out here today? Tell us, what are you looking to tell everybody about?
Everything, whatever you want to know, I'll tell it. I'm one of the hardcore guys. I'm one of the guys that don't hold back, and I tell it how it is. It's pretty much why I'm hated so much. So, whatever you got, whatever questions you have, I'm ready to answer them all.
Tell us how you got started in the professional wrestling business, and a little bit about your background.
Man, how I got started? My brothers used to drop me on my head all the time. As kids, my family used to take us to shows. So I seen a commercial for the LWF. And this was in 98, 99. And seeing they had a wrestling school.
So was this after CM Punk had already left?
Left where?
LWF.
It was right when he left.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, it was right at maybe the month 2 that he left. So I trained with them for, year and a half. Didn't go anywhere, quit the business. And then PCW picked me up, went to PCW. Was a drizzling shits there. Left there and started AEW. All because, actually I started AEW because Egotistico Fantastico, who's one of my best friends, kicked the Butcher in the face. And Rick Knight had a pissy fit. And long story short, I left along with everybody else in PCW and started AEW.
Excellent. So tell us about the early days of AAW. What were the challenges you came to being a promoter for the first time in your career?
Oh, man.
Start that.
You know what? This may sound egotistical, no pun intended. I did what my trainers told me to do. I sat back and I listened and I watched. You know, I never opened my mouth like these kids nowadays. Like the kid holding the camera right now. He's a real asshole. Talks back a lot. I never did that. So I sat back and watched all the rights and the wrongs that all the promoters did. And when I started AEW, I mean, being that it was in Berwyn and I grew up there, it was easy. Once I told people I was doing it, I had crowds. I mean, we sold out that building I don't know how many times. And it was never with a name. We never brought in a name in AEW. So I would say that the trials and tribulations of doing it wasn't really that bad. You know, I think it's harder now. It's harder now because back then wrestling was good. Now wrestling sucks.
Why?
You know?
Why do you say that?
Well, because the people booking the big time shows, they're boring. They're no one. I mean, even Triple H is saying it himself. that he's got to do something different. It's just wrestling is. Once Vince bought out WCW, that was it. I mean, he bought out his competition. Now what does he have to compete against?
That's
Here in
true.
Chicago, we have to compete against every Tom, Dick, and Harry that's got a Fed, and there's at least 10 Feds in the Chicagoland area, and we all have to compete against each other. So we're all raising the bar. Well, no, we're not all doing that, but most of us, well, or not most of us, 3 of us are doing that, and nobody else is really doing it. But that's what Vince is lacking, is the competition.
Cool. Yeah, I see that as well. And by the way, I wanted to tell you that you are sitting next to a fellow alum of Warren West High School.
Oh, really?
Yes, I graduated in 2000.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Morton West. What a great school. So many memories of that place. Oh, my God. How was it in 2000? Horrible, huh?
Yeah, pretty
Good
bad.
figure.
So tell us about the PW Blitz. How you guys came up with the concept for the organization, and tell us also, how do you differentiate yourselves from other different promotions out there?
We're different than a lot of promotions just with the fact of our production. Our production is huge. I mean, it takes us 2 days to set it up. We got a big screen, we got the lights, we got backstage interviews, videos. I mean, we got a lot of stuff that a lot of companies, other companies don't have. I mean, you see other companies like take for instance POW. You go to their show and they got a karaoke machine doing sound, and they walk out from behind garbage bags. Like, it's garbage. A lot of these other companies, and the reason I do so well is I think every time I see somebody catching up to me, I just put the bar that much higher so that they can't catch up to me. Like, next year is going to be all LED light panels, and I got a lot of crazy stuff coming out that nobody's going to be able to catch up to me right now. So that's where we try to be different, and we're a family show. We're an everyday fan company. We're not like AEW has their niche where they do a lot of the Ring of Honor style, TNA kicks and slaps and all that kind of stuff, and that's what they got, and that's great. We don't have that. We have more characters and more of a everyday fan, somebody who could say, "Oh, let's go check this out for $10," and they'll like it because there's different characters and stuff. Where AEW's all way different than us.
Yeah, I
Way
understand.
different.
And you see that there's a good market out there for the community to come out and support shows like these. For they're family friendly. They can bring the kids as opposed to other shows, which aren't appropriate.
Well, not only that too, but I mean, we keep our ticket prices good for families. But it's companies like Anarchy, POW. I'll go with CSW. That put a bad taste in regular fans' mouths. They come out, they see this crap that these people put on because all they're doing is just, I got a ring, I got a building, let's do a show. They don't put any time into this, the setup, all that stuff. So you get the average fan who's like, oh, I'll go check out wrestling, and then they see that crap, and then they see one of my flyers, and they're like, oh, well, this is that crappy independent wrestling that we're not going to go see. I mean, just take a look at flyers, for instance. I mean, the top 3 companies, which is Dreamwave, AAW, and me. Look at our posters compared to CSW, Anarchy, Fire Pro, all these other guys. It's just, I mean, that right there tells you if you can't put money into a flyer, you're not going to put money in your company. That's how I feel. I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid, but a lot of people will probably agree with that part. But
Yeah.
what do you mean, yeah? What do you mean, yeah, definitely? What the fuck? He's calling me stupid.
My next question for you is, what can people expect for A Chase for the Gold? December 19th, it's your year-end show. You just got off a big show with Ring Wars in November. It was your biggest show of the year. But what can people expect? They come in at the end of December for this show coming up on the 19th.
Well, it's going to be a tournament to crown the new King of Blitz. It's got a lot of good guys. I mean, you got Brubaker, you got Marche Rocket, Egotistical Fantastico, Hardcore Craig, Paulie Tomaselli. I mean, you got some of the top guys around here wrestling. I think it's going to be a pretty kick-ass show. I mean, our last show was pretty dope. We're There might be some surprises this one. You never know who might show up.
Really?
You never
So
know.
everybody has to come.
I've been known for doing that, so we'll see.
What's the most unexpected thing that you've ever had happen at a PW Blitz show in the history?
Last year at our big show, we had DDP come out of nowhere.
Oh, really?
We had Brian Christopher out of nowhere. We had Victoria was there. So we had a bunch of people show up. I had 15 or 17 different WWE stars on my show last year, and about 4 or 5 of them were unannounced. So DDP came out of nowhere, came out of the crowd, and Diamond cut somebody out of nowhere and took off his mask and showed everybody, and the place went just ape shit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
So do you believe that, throwing in surprises and, always keeping the audience engaged, that's a very important part of your job?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And especially the fact that I throw in surprises every now and then, so people never know what they're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just a little added incentive to try to catch every show.
Sure. And you do have a lot of guests, but can you tell us some of the pros and cons to having guests at your show?
Expenses, very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, but a lot of them are really cool. There's one who, if I seen him, I wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire, and that would be Brutus the Barber Beefcake. He is a giant piece of shit. Other than that, I've really never had any problems with any of the names I brought in. They've always been top of the line. Like Abyss, man, he's awesome. Al Snow, man, everybody I brought in has been pretty badass, except that asshole Brutus the Barber.
That's good. So you allow them to have been, very good to the fans.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're
engaging.
They're good. They're good in the locker room if the boys want to talk. If the boys want to ask anything about their matches or anything, they're always up for talking.
Great. My next question is what is your dream match? Either yourself participating in a match or 2 others participating in a match in a PW Blitz show.
Wow. One match I'd love to see is Egotistico Fantastico against Marche Rocket.
Yes.
I think that would be a killer match. And who knows, you might see that sooner than later, but I think that's one of the matches that those are 2 guys that could really tear it up. And why Marche's still on the independent level, I don't know. I don't know why WWE hasn't picked them up. But I believe those 2 in the ring together would really, really tear it up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Marche's been surging as of late. I've seen him perform.
Right.
Wrestling. He should be there very soon.
Yeah, he should.
For TV. Is there anybody you're going to see in your roster that, hey, this guy could definitely be on TV in the next couple of years?
I'm going to be pushing real hard for Rough Crossing to get a look.
Mm-hmm.
He's been told by numerous people, numerous names, that he's got it. Just the one thing he's lacking is his body. So he's a construction worker by day.
Right.
So he's laid off for the winter, so he's really going to be putting in some time in the gym. And that's one guy with him and Marche that I'd like to see get to that next level and get out of here.
Sounds good, and that's good for your company as well, having, some big names that just came out.
Yeah, as long as they recognize where they came from and they're not like the other assholes that made it.
Sure.
Like Seth.
Like other people.
Definitely, I understand that as well. I mean, it's I find that so much great talent has come from Chicago.
Oh,
the
yeah.
last few years, and Midwest area as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot more to come. I mean, there's guys like Brubaker. I mean, I think the only thing that's holding him back is his height. But I mean, he's got the body, he's got the look, he's got everything. Vic Capri. I mean, there's so many people in just the Chicagoland alone that I think have talent and can make it out. Actually, there's a guy coming to my show next weekend who was up in Milwaukee last weekend. He's he's huge. He's like 6'8". He's gonna start training with us.
Excellent.
So that's someone I'm gonna push to get out of here too, because WWE always likes the big guys.
Oh yeah, that's for
So
sure.
a guy standing legit 6'8", they'll pick him up right away. So we'll see. A lot of people.
That's great. It's great that you have such a great talent pool,
Right.
and that you're developing as well. And tell me, what did you think of Raw this past week when fans left the last segment early?
Well, I guess I'd be one of them because I don't watch Raw.
Mm-hmm.
I don't watch it anymore. It's garbage. I'll turn it on and catch something here and there, but there's really nothing going on that intrigues me or keeps me tuned in.
No.
There's not a thing. Like, I can't think of one person that I say, oh man, I got to catch Raw because of that.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody.
Nobody else.
And with Cena gone, they're really screwed.
Right. Well, hopefully he comes back soon. NXT, have you been watching or following that at all, or what Triple H is doing there?
Nope. I haven't watched that either. A lot of people say I should.
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't gotten into it yet.
I hear you.
But I got the network, so I could always check it out.
Right. What's some of your favorite matches to watch on network? What's your top 3 matches that people have to check out?
Oh, anything by Dusty Rhodes, anything by the Road Warriors. I mean, those are all the guys I grew up watching and loving. Whenever people get into business, I always tell them to watch the old stuff. Don't watch the new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
New stuff isn't really going to teach you that much. It's the old stuff that's going to actually teach you how to work and actually be in a ring and call stuff on the fly and be out there. So I kind of tell people, watch all the old stuff. And I like watching those shows like that. What's that show, Breaking Ground or something?
Yes.
Yeah, I got into the first 2 episodes. I actually got to catch up on that. So other than that, I just watch old stuff. I don't watch any of the new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
None of that.
Talking about Breaking Ground, what do you think of the show going backstage, kind of maybe exposing some hidden truths about the business?
Vince did that years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a matter of, I've had somebody else ask me that the other day, like, what do you think about this? Well, isn't it exposing the business? It's not. It's been exposed. It's been, Vince did that years ago. They did that years ago when all the workers did that stupid TV show on NBC where they, out of fake wrestling and they're all in masks. I forgot the name of the show, but and they said that we use ketchup for blood and stupid shit like that. I don't know. I mean, it's entertainment now. I mean, it's not wrestling. It's not a sport. It's entertainment. And that backstage stuff, and that's what people like to see. It's the reality of TV. So
Definitely.
Vince knows what he's doing, but it's not exposing anything. That's been done.
Have you found that recently some of the challenges you've come across in running PW Blitz, what are they, and how have you been able to deal with it on a daily basis? Take us, in your mind.
You don't want to go in my mind. That's the last place you want to go. The fact that wrestling sucks.
Mm-hmm.
When LWF was hot, wrestling was hot. So they were drawing crowds of 900 people every show because, that was the era. That was the Attitude Era. So trying to get people to watch now, WWE's having a hard time.
Right.
So if WWE's having a hard time, what do you think us independent guys who have nowhere near the amount of money or exposure that Vince does, and then we're trying to do it on a major level, but we don't have the money or the time or anything like Vince does. So it's hard. You could flyer all you want. You could, we're giving out free tickets to the movies now. We try to find any gimmicks to get people to buy tickets because it's just so hard right now. It's just, like I said, if Vince is having a hard time, we're all fucked.
Right.
Like, that's just how it is. We are all screwed. Until this gets turned around, independent wrestling is going to take a hit for a while. And hopefully, maybe people start coming out more. I don't know. It's just, you could flyer all you want. You could Facebook ads, Facebook this, Twitter that, this, Periscoping that, and, just all that shit. It doesn't matter because wrestling just at itself. I had childhood friends that were diehard fans.
Right.
That I'm like, hey, dude, you see this? They're like, we don't watch wrestling. We haven't in years. Nobody wants to see this shit no more. So until it gets turned around, and I hope Triple H does. I hope Vince just steps back completely and tells Trips, like, do it. I heard NXT's great. Bring up NXT. Bring up all those guys. Do something. There's just, I guess there's a pay-per-view tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, I had no idea. So, that shows how much I watch it now. Not even worried about it. I don't even know who's in it. What is it?
TLC.
Yeah, who's in it?
It's got Roman Reigns, Sheamus for the WWE title.
All right, that's all you have to say. Right there, I won't tune in.
Right.
Sheamus versus what? Sheamus versus Roman Reigns.
What's wrong with Roman Reigns?
What's wrong with Roman Reigns? Yeah,
Yes.
the fact that they are putting everything they can behind him, and the crowd still hates him.
But
The
that
whole
happens
crowd
with
does
Cena.
not hate him.
It's
90
happened with different wrestlers before, and they've had success.
Yeah, but not. They've tried so hard with him. They're not going to get anything behind him. He's not. He's definitely not one to carry the company. That's for sure. Not like Sheamus is any better to carry the company, but
Uh-oh. So we got Faye. She's chiming in. Do you have anything to say, Faye?
yeah, go ahead.
How about your
Go ahead.
Roman
Let's hear a woman's.
Well, I'm not going to chime in on the TLC part, but I do have a couple of questions for you.
Oh God.
Well,
Like-
before we get there, can we see if there's any questions
Yeah.
from those on Periscope? Any questions
No
yet?
comments.
No comments at all? Okay.
Scarpone's the man. Is the main one.
All right.
Okay, first
you
question.
guys.
First question for you. Because, I like to research people.
Oh Lord.
And you are like the hardest person to like find stuff out about.
That's how I like
Why
it.
are you not on Wikipedia?
Because I don't want people knowing my real shit.
Why not? What do you have to hide?
I'm Italian. Don't worry about it.
That's right.
All right, so next thing for you, because I know you touched on it a little bit.
I
but
touched
you,
what?
You touched on it a little bit, but you
I
didn't
know.
go into full
I
detail.
didn't think you noticed.
When you said that you left the one promotion to start AAW, what made you say, okay, this is what I want to start, this is what I want to do? Why did you ultimately leave AAW?
Why'd I leave AEW?
Yes.
I was working for Harley Race Thursday to Sundays with Ego. So we'd be down in Missouri for those days. And I wasn't really doing a lot with AEW. I wasn't really putting the time and effort that I should have. And what ultimately made me leave was Jim Jesus, who just passed away, and Danny Daniels. We were out at Dave & Buster's in Schaumburg, and we were all having drinks, and they pretty much told me to sell them my company or they were going to start one up right down the street and put me out of business. So it was either work for Harley all the time and pursue that or try to do AEW, so I just sold it for way cheaper than I should have and left and went off with Harley and did my stuff.
So now when you look at the product of AEW versus when you left the company, company that you started, your baby, pretty much, how do you feel now knowing that the plateau that it's pretty much taken on? Because when you look at the talent in AEW, pretty much AEW is that place where you watch NXT, it's like, wait, I just saw him on AEW last night. Prime example, Apollo Crews. One of his last matches was in AEW, and then he went to NXT. Kevin Steen, Seth Rollins. So knowing that the company that you started is now like the stepping stone to go to NXT, do you wish that you had not just sold it over to him?
No, I'm glad I did. I mean, that's good. You know what? Everybody asked that. You know, what AEW's this? Look, I gave Danny Daniels, he didn't have to do anything from the ground up like I've had to with all my companies. I had to go buy a ring. I had to find a building. I had to find sponsors. I had to find a T-shirt. I had to find everything, whereas Danny was given everything. Danny was given a ring, a building, fans, sponsors. He was given all that when he bought it from me. I'm proud of him. I mean, me and Danny actually... a couple of Fridays ago, I went to my first AEW show in 9 years, and I pulled him aside and we talked and we put things, to the back burner. It's not good to hold a grudge anymore, so I kind of buried the hatchet with him and Mike Pekovich. I think it's great. I mean, when I was there, it was all characters, just like what I'm doing now. It's all characters, and like I said, he's got more of that Smart Mark crowd, the TNA kicks, the stuff like that. And I wish him nothing but the best, but do I regret selling it? Absolutely not. I mean, I got to do a lot of stuff with WWE right after I sold it, and I wouldn't. The only thing I regret is breaking my leg in 3 places on his show and him not coming to see me. Dick.
Oh, wow.
Danny. Jerk off. Kidding. I love him. No, I don't. At all.
Okay, so next thing for you, because obviously, like I said, I did a little bit of research, and we all know
Creep.
first thing that pops up always
How did you know?
is the infamous video.
Oh, God.
Everybody knows this video. So what was it like to be on Judge Mathis?
Really?
Yes, really.
So out of all the wrestling
Yes.
stuff, we're pulling out Judge Mathis.
Yes. That's the very first thing that comes up if somebody Googles your name.
It was great. Here's how it went. It was, hey, Tony, you're being sued. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, do you want to be on Judge Mathis? Sure. What is it about? Well, you get a free limo ride and food. I'm like, all right, you got me there. And then we pay your settlement. I said, okay. So not only did I get limo ride, free food for me and my friend Maria, I lost the case at the end because I was an idiot. And actually, when I lost it, the Judge Mathis show paid him what I was being sued for. So it was kind of a win-win. I mean, I got free food, limo ride, and I have to pay a dime. Love it.
Now, when I watched the show, there was one thing that I pulled out the whole entire show. There was a line that you used. And me personally, I like marketing, I like promoting. And I was like, I got the perfect thing had I known you then. So, I have a present for you. We'll show it to Periscope first. So, if you've actually seen the video, then you know.
That's so horrible.
What that date means, and you know what the saying says on the back of the shirt.
All right, so listen. The producer told me be mean. So?
Oh, you were a dick.
Yeah, I was an asshole. You should hear all the stuff that they cut out. They told me to be a dick, and it was true, though. I mean, his daughter was trying to hook up with me all the time. Creepingly going on the internet and looking at stuff from me. And she was buying me gifts, and I told the judge that she looked like an alien and that his daughter wasn't really my type. They took out the alien part, and I think that was a little bit too harsh. And they left in that his daughter was not my type. But I ran into him a couple years later, and I apologized because I'm a nice guy, but his daughter's ugly. Well, she's not my type. She's not. All right, next question.
So what is your type then?
Next question. You ain't getting me in fucking trouble. Next question. Keep going with that shit. What else you got? Come on. You got more?
Tony, what's your dream match? You
Mine?
personally, yeah.
I already had it.
What was it?
2000 and something. I got a phone call that I was going to wrestle the Road Warriors. So at Dream Night 1 or 2, me and my partner at the time, Flyboy TK, in Elk Grove Village, Elmhurst, got to wrestle the Road Warriors for the first time on the independent level. And it was great. I got to, I'll never forget it. I was sitting in a corner with Animal punching him in the stomach. And now, mind you, back then I was a drizzling shits. Not that I'm much better now, but back then it was like the drizzling shits. Now it's just like shit. Like I'm shit. So I'm in a corner with Animal punching him, and Hawk's supposed to run in, and all of a sudden you see Hawk jump off the apron, and I turn to Animal. I'm like, what do we do? He's like, just keep hitting me. And he runs over to the announcer's table and he grabs a microphone and he goes, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce my good friend. And he calls out Kurt Hennig, because Kurt Hennig was in the bed. Kurt Hennig showed up out of nowhere. I don't know what he was in town for, but him and this girl, Lisa Prati, both came to the show. So here comes Kurt Angle from the back, and I'm doing this spot with Animal. Nobody's paying attention to me and Animal anymore. Everybody's paying attention to Kurt Hennig. And then we finish the match. We get in the back, and I'm sitting there talking to Animal, and here comes Hawk, and he comes over, and me and Animal are just sitting there talking. He comes over, and he just spits all his blood out. He goes, they made me fucking bleed. And I'm like, oh, we're going to get our asses kicked. Oh, I'm just fucking with you. I hit my fucking, and he just walked away. I'm like, but he was so drunk. Like, wow. He was so drunk. But that was my dream match. I mean, I watched those guys since I was a little kid. I actually got a picture signed by Animal from when I was like 8 years old at the UIC Pavilion with the guardrails, and putting my hand out, getting a slap high five with the Road Warriors. So that was my dream match. So I've already had it. I don't
Awesome.
need it anymore. I can retire.
Hey, that's excellent. It's a great story.
What about that? I don't know what you're fucking saying.
No?
What?
You versus Vinny?
No.
Alright.
It's not my fucking dream match. My dream match was in the Road Warriors. Fuck. I just want to wrestle my son so I can beat the fuck out of him without him telling anybody. That's my dream match. No. Yeah, I guess that could be my dream match. Beat the shit out of my kid. Without him beating him to tell his mother.
Tell us if someone wants to learn how to wrestle.
Don't.
Come see you.
Don't.
But let's say someone's already, they've already learned. They want to be part of your promotion. What are you looking for particularly?
Somebody with drive. Somebody with heart. We just recently had a kid who wanted to sign up. This dipshit brought him from the gym. And he's like, hey, with wrestling, I copy and pasted something off the internet the other day. It showed a kid walking down a hallway with like all the ropes, like the 3 sets of ropes. And it said, paying dues. Without it, you get nowhere in this business. And this kid was brand new, like 2 days in, like not even, no bullshit. Like he was there Wednesday for setup, Thursday for setup. Now this is Friday. And we needed somebody to work the hard cam. And he's like, oh, I'm all Mr., video stuff, this and that. And we're like, oh, okay. Like, hey, do you mind working the hard cam? He's like, what's the hard cam? I'm like, are you fucking serious right now? Like, are you kidding? He's like, no, what's the hard cam? I'm like, the fucking camera? He's like, oh, the wide shot? I'm like, yeah, the hard cam. He's like, yeah. He's like, I don't mind working. He goes, how much you going to pay me? So I fucking stopped for a second. I go, now I'm not charging him to train him. I'm training him for free because I don't have a school right now, so we could only... The fuck do you keep looking at?
These people... What's going on?
You think your mic's in there?
Oh, yeah, there's 2.
This whole fucking school, there's no other bikes anywhere? Jesus Christ. So, he's sitting there, and I'm like, no, I'm not charging him because I don't have a school, so it's only the days we could set up. And I look at him, I go, what'd you just say? He goes, well, what are you going to pay me to work it? So I told him, I said, get your fucking shit. Get the fuck out of my building. I'm like, I'm not charging you a fucking dime to train, and you want to charge me to work a hard camera? I said, get your shit and get the fuck out and tell Joe thanks. Because this idiot brought him in. People nowadays, they all think that they're going to walk into a building and they're going to be a fucking next Seth Rollins. Man, it's not going to happen. Seth put in a fucking shit ton of work before that kid even got looked at. If anybody wants to train or wrestle for me, I mean, they got to have it. They got to love it. Not many people love it anymore. A lot of people love the fact that they're going to be wrestlers. I had a guy named Eric who was training with me for years. All he wanted to do was be a wrestler. He didn't give a shit about going to WWE, this or that. There's some people that are like that. But there's some people who just want to go out there and put on their Facebook that they wrestled. And those are douchebags, like Joe. That's all he does. Works at Hooters. I just said you work at...
Rust. How do you work at Hooters?
I'm wondering the same thing.
Joshua Lopez asked about announcers.
What about
What'd he say?
announcers?
Becoming announcers, I guess? I don't know. He just said, what about announcers?
Josh, what do you mean by announcers? Be a little bit more elaborate.
He does a radio show at ChicagolandSportsRadio.com called The Pro Wrestling Experience. So I think he's asking you, what are you looking for in an announcer?
Spaz. I'm looking for fun, like someone to be fucking fun. We got Mr. Riccolo now. He's about 176 years old, but his hair is like 300 years old. And I love that guy to death. So he'd have to be better than Riccolo, which is really hard to do because he's one of the best in the area. So we're always looking. We're looking for guys to do pre-show like announcing.
Right.
Stuff to get the crowd hyped up and give free giveaways and stuff like that. So if you're still watching this, we're looking for people. So get a hold of us at pwblitz.com or our Facebook page.
And a play-by-play. I think that's what he was looking for.
Well, what the fuck is an announcer? Announcer is an announcer. Announcer is somebody in a ring. A play-by-play is... you know what? We might be looking for new ones. I don't know. We're always taking applications. I always like using that line. You know why? Because when I go fill out an application somewhere, we're always taking applications. That is such bullshit. They're not always taking applications. They'd have like 1 million applications.
Right.
But I'm really taking applications.
Okay. Where can people go?
Our
to apply?
Facebook. Just go to our Facebook and message us. I don't really check it, but my buddy Frankie does. Frankie, you know Frankie.
Yeah, I know Frankie, yes.
Frankie does. He takes care of all that shit. Not me. Too busy. Not really.
So tell us, what do you like to do outside of the professional wrestling business? What do you like to do in your free time when you have some?
When I have free time? I like to go to shitty wrestling shows and make fun of them. And that's like being honest. Mm-hmm. Going to one tonight.
Oh, you're going. I know which one.
No, I don't know. Well, there's a few tonight.
I won't mention.
Why not? Let's mention it. If you think I'm going to Anarchy.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I was meant to.
Villa Park.
Who's in Villa Park? Underground?
Yeah.
No, I started that company
And then
too.
JPW is tonight too.
Who the hell's JPW?
There's like 3 shows tonight that I know of.
Well, I'm going to Fire Pro in Indiana.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I'm going. Maybe I will go to somebody else. Maybe I will go to Anarchy.
Don't.
I think I'm gonna, because he said he was gonna beat me up next time he sees me, so I might
Who
go.
was?
Santana Starks.
Oh, okay.
He said the next time he sees me, he's crack my skull open. So maybe I will go, see if he does that. I need a new haircut anyways.
Yeah, the champion went to Illinois Center for Broadcasting recently.
Who did?
Humac. He
Yeah.
graduated here.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah. He's a champion, Anarchy.
Yeah,
So
well.
shout out to him.
No shout out to you. I don't know who the fuck you are. No shout out to you. No, I'm not going there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to Fire Pro. Got a lot of buddies there, and I'm trying to help that guy out. Plus, their show starts at 6:30, and I could get away and go see the fights tonight.
Oh, yeah. Who do you got in the fight?
Oh, McGregor's gonna kill him.
Yeah, McGregor.
I don't know though. It might be like Ronda Rousey though. I was all behind Ronda Rousey. I was like, yeah, Ronda.
Oh, yeah.
And she looked like shit when she got out there.
She did.
She looked. I told everybody we were sitting there. I'm like, man, she looks like shit right now. Like she don't even like she didn't know she had a fight.
No, she didn't. Her head wasn't in the game.
No,
right.
It's all these stupid movie things that she's doing and all this other bullshit. Either go do movies for a while or stay and fight. Pick one. Like
That's like The Rock.
Well, but The Rock, it's different. It's different when it's fake wrestling than compared to going out there and actually getting your ass kicked. I think it's two totally separate state of minds, and she was not in any state of mind to fight. I hope McGregor comes out there and kicks his ass, but if it's going to be like a Ronda Rousey fight, he's going to come out there and get his ass whooped because he's going to go into it too cocky, and Aldo's going to fucking just destroy him.
That's what I see.
It's either going to be Aldo destroying him or McGregor beating him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not going to be a fair fight, I don't think, either way. It's going to be one or the other. Either he's going to get his ass whooped or, man, maybe he'll go all 5 rounds. Who knows?
It might. It's
I'm hoping for McGregor.
Fight. Yeah, I hope it goes.
He's a cocky jagoff, and I love it. That's what the UFC needs. They need shit like that. Like when Lesnar was there talking all that shit about Bud Light and how he don't drink it and all that shit. Like that's what they need. They need a heel. They need somebody to go in there and stir shit up like McGregor did for all this time. Ronda did for a little while, but then she got fucking planted.
Right.
That was horrible.
You see like MMA borrowing elements of professional wrestling today?
Yeah, with the McGregor thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I know before. I mean, I'm not a huge UFC guy.
Right.
You know, I've just recently started watching it again with the hype behind McGregor. But, I mean, they have to. They have to. I mean, if you just take A versus B and don't put any hype behind it or any hatred or anything, why do people care?
Right.
It's just like wrestling. If The Rock comes out and just wrestles Cena, but there's no Fruity Pebbles behind it, then what? Then it's just another match with 2 guys. So they need that. They need the drama. They need it. They need it, and hopefully they keep doing it because the shit with McGregor was. I mean, just the interviews where they're all sitting on stage and they're talking shit to each other. I mean, it's great. It's
Definitely.
great. They need it for sure. I'll go help them. Dana, give me a call.
There you go. And Tony, I want to thank you again for being on the Voice of the Voiceless Pro Wrestling Podcast.
No problem.
Now you were with Resistance.
Fuck you! You just trying to put me with fucking Anarchy? Really? Please leave the room.
Resistance Pro.
Please leave the room. Hey, I don't even want to talk to her no more.
I will not leave the room. So you were with Resistance Pro for a minute.
What do you mean? What do you mean for a minute?
For a minute, for like just not even a year, but you were there for a minute. Like you helped them out a little bit.
I helped them out a lot.
How was that? Like, did you leave around the time that the whole reality TV thing?
I was part of the reality TV.
How was it?
Fucking stupid. You ever been on reality television?
No, but I tried to interview.
It's fucking stupid. Oh man, that's a whole ball of fucking wax you just opened. I was with them since day one. I remember going to a bar in Lockport with both the brothers and Sam, and trying to help them out and telling them things to do that were right and wrong, and just kind of being there to guide them. And once they got really going, they got really full of themselves. They started believing their own hype. You know, I remember sitting there at one meeting, and it was, I'm not going to say the other guy's name, but me and P.L. Myers. And we're sitting there, and they had an interview, and they're like, we were on the cover of GQ, or we were in GQ magazine or something because of Billy. And it's like, well, you got all this coverage. You're on the cover or inside GQ and all these other magazines, but yet you're only drawing 250 people. Like, their biggest show they ever had was the show with Jake the Snake at the Union Hall downtown. He had a good crowd that night, and it's because Jake that was his first, like, indie appearance sober. So I helped him out a lot, and then the reality TV thing came. And the thing with the reality TV is they contacted me. Like, I didn't contact them. I didn't say shit. I got an email and a phone call saying, hey, we want you to be part of this reality gimmick. You know, this, that, and another. And this was around the time of WrestleFest last year, so it was around last August. So they mic'd me up. They followed me around for days. Reality TV is stupid. It's not real. You know, like, I'm sitting there talking, and it's just fucking stupid. They're like, oh, re-say that, but say it this way. Oh, fuck you. That's not the way I said it. Like, I don't want to do that. It was stupid. But then they pulled the plug on it, and then that's when it slowly went downhill. There's a lot of stuff that the Barron brothers did that I don't agree with. I'm not going to pull their dirt out because I like them. But, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I don't know. Do they still run?
From place to place.
Yeah, I don't know anything about them anymore. When they got so big and they believe their own hype, they kind of, Tony who? You know, like fucking, Tony, big deal. You know, I wasn't really a help to them anymore, so they didn't need me. But now everybody left, and like I said, I don't even know if they're running anymore. No idea. But to answer your question, reality TV sucks.
There goes my hopes and dreams.
Don't do it. Stupid.
Where did the name come from?
What name?
Tony Scarpone. I'm figuring that you were a fan of The Sopranos, and that's where it came from.
That's awesome that you think that, because it's nowhere fucking even close.
So where did it come from?
P.L. Myers called me up, said, hey, you're debuting next week. You're going to run out of the crowd and powerbomb Butcher. I said, all right. They go, we need a name. Oh, fuck, I got a week to think of this? And of course, I was going to do the Italian thing. And, well, my real name's Tony. And then Scarpone came from Scarface and Al Capone. Scarpone. Get it? Scar from Scarface. Pone from Al Capone. So I got to break it down more. But that's where it came from. A lot of people think Tony Soprano, and that has nothing to do with it. So it was pretty cool. Came up with that name. I was pretty good for a little while. Then I sucked. Then I got fat. Then I stopped. Pretty much my career in about 3 seconds. That's pretty much how it went. Hi, Joe.
But you just recently got back in the ring after almost a year. Well, actually, over a year.
I wouldn't call that getting in the ring what I did last weekend.
You were in there. So what was your training prep like? Just because you hadn't been in there since March of last year.
Wrestling is like riding a bike. You just kind of never forget. So I didn't really have to prep for anything other than eat my food on the apron and pull a cheeseburger from my nuts. Tried to get somebody to eat it. Did anybody see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, I was so mad. I was so mad. I keep a cheeseburger in my balls. Like, yeah. What's his name? What's that movie? No, Longest Yard. Cheeseburger.
Oh, yeah.
I pulled it out and I took a bite of it, and Nick Cutler was on the apron with me, and I turned him around to try to give him a bite, but he wouldn't eat it. So, Nick, if you ever listen to this, I tried to give you a sandwich that was in my nuts.
You guys tell us about any of the other crazy antics you've done?
Oh, Lord. I've super glued people's shoes together. I've super glued people's shoes to the ceiling of a hotel room.
Wow.
I flip-flopped the mattress and the bed spring, and then told my buddy to run in, let's see who could jump the highest. So when he jumps, it's all wood. And he hurt himself.
Oh, wow.
I put Bryce Benjamin thought it would be cute to shit in my bathtub in my hotel. So I thought it would be cute to pick up said turd and put it in his boots. So when he went to put his boots on at the show, he stepped in his own poop.
Oh, wow.
I've put baby powder in blow dryers for my buddy Dan. So when he got out of the shower and blew dry his hair, shit was everywhere. We've done some stupid shit. Put toothpicks in straws. Almost killed Bryce. Used 4 rolls of duct tape on a gear bag and taped it every which way so that they couldn't get in their gear bag.
Wow.
I know a guy. Yeah, all right, I can say that one. Yeah, we've done some stupid shit. We've done some funny shit. I'm trying to think of some other good stuff.
Any road stories you have when you were on the road?
What do you want to know? The sex, the drugs, what?
Some crazy stuff that happened. Like, you guys got stranded somewhere.
No. Well, man, I'd have to say there's a lot of sex and drugs. A lot. I don't know if I should be talking about it, but a lot. See, here's the thing. And like I keep bringing this asshole up because I'm around them so much. But Joe and the guys he hangs out with, they like to pick on each other. Well, that wasn't the thing with me and Ego. Me and Ego were the ones who were always on the road together. And we always picked on everybody else. Very rarely do we pick on each other. But there's plenty of stories of, we call them hoes on the highway. I mean, I'm not getting into any of shit because I can incriminate a lot of people. So there's a lot of sex and drugs, especially drugs. No rock and roll, though. None of us like rock and roll. We're all rap guys. Mm-hmm. She likes rap, right?
I like country and rock.
She likes rap.
I like Kanye West.
Oh,
Talking
I just got done talking about how I hate Kanye West.
He is the nicest person.
I don't give a shit. But yeah, I really can't. I mean, there's some stories like, yeah, we've had some crazy shit. Some crazy shit. Some shit I don't want to talk about. No.
The story about the ring. I've heard about this ring story.
What ring?
I guess you brought a ring off of somebody that involves some other stuff. I think it was like the first ring you brought.
Oh, the one I stole?
Yeah, that ring.
Well, I didn't steal it. That's how I started AEW. I went to PCW. All right, there's this guy, Pickle. Fucking, if he ever listens to this, you fat piece of shit. Who sold me the ring. So I went to the building with Flyboy TK and a bunch of other people, picked up the ring, the screen, all the stuff. Well, we left, and I met up with Pickle, and he signed it over, and I paid him, I think it was like $4,000 or something. And then PCW went on to say that I stole the ring from him. Wow. I never stole a ring. Pickle paid for it. I mean, there's a whole big credit card thing behind that, but something along the lines of Pickle put it on his credit card, then had to file bankruptcy. He needed the money, so I bought the ring off him. To this day, I think people have a different story of what happened. I think they still say I stole it. I still have the bill of sale, even though I don't have that ring anymore, from Pickle. What a name, Pickle. And, yeah, I never stole it. Is that what you were getting at? You just trying to say I stole a ring?
Hey, you said that you stole the ring.
Is it because I'm white?
No, it's because you're Italian.
Wow. Wow. Racial profiling. Isn't that horrible?
Yeah.
Welcome to Chicago.
That's why I don't want to come to this fucking place. This is horrible. Anything else, Joe?
Nope.
I fucking hate you.
I love you too.
Fuck off. So what else you want to know? Anything else good?
You got anything, Faye?
You can continue.
Just what's the hardest bump you ever taken? Like,
So you know what a vertebraker is?
no. I mean,
You know
I do know that
You know what a cop killer is?
Not that one, no.
Well, for people who know, it's a vertebraker. If you Google
Yeah.
it, you know what it is. It was against Strychnine for a company called Dark Horse Wrestling, which Tristan Hayes, I never got paid for that. And he said, I'm going to give you the vertebraker, and then we're going to... I said, okay, just make sure you hold me tight. So we went for it, and what it is where I'm on his back, upside down, so my head's by his ass, but I'm facing out. And this was towards the end of the match, and he was too sweaty. And as he got me hooked and we went up, he dropped me on my head.
Oh, my God.
So luckily I took my head last minute, but if not, I would have been paralyzed because it was disgustingly horrible. Other than that, it was the joy tagging with Ego because he would take all the bumps. And me being a bigger guy, just come in and beat the shit out of people. So I really never had to take any huge bumps. I took stupid bumps. I mean, I took a lot of chair shots to the head, and I was talking to Joe about this. Back in the day, back in the mid 2000s, we weren't pussies, so we didn't put our hands up. We thought WWE does it, so we're gonna do it. We never did that shit. So I remember, wrestling Ego in Berwyn, and him hit me with a kendo stick in the first 30 seconds of the match, and me not remembering even wrestling.
Wow.
So I don't say I took big bumps. I took stupid shit. I took a lot of chair shots. I took a lot of, I've been beaten with pool sticks. I've been beaten with barbed wire, thumbtacks, staple guns.
Right.
Wow. Not hardcore shit like Corporal Robinson and shit like that. Those guys are crazy. They're nuts. So I haven't taken anything near what they have, but just the stupid shit that I have. I took a lot of chair shots to the head, and I'm regretting it now because I forget. Sometimes I wipe my ass. It's weird.
How do you feel about performers that work cross promotions?
What do you mean?
Meaning, like, I might go to, let's just say, your show tonight, see this person wrestle, then I go here the next day, see this person wrestle, or maybe in the exact same day, they're wrestling at two different shows.
I hate it. I think it's stupid. Guys nowadays, they go for quantity, not quality. So if they got a company who's going to book them and pay them $40, they're going to go do it. It doesn't matter if there's 10 people in the crowd or 1,000 people. I think my big thing, and I had to talk with a lot of the boys in the locker room, is why did ECW succeed? What do you think?
They stayed within themselves.
Right. They made noise in ECW. They didn't make noise in ECW and then go off and do,
Right.
other companies. There was independents then, but they didn't go do them.
Right.
I think if people would just stay loyal to one company, whether it's me, Dreamwave, AEW,
Right.
any of those other shitholes, and make noise, that company would start drawing more. That company would start making more, being able to pay the guys more. That's what a lot of the guys just don't understand. Even the new guys in this business, they want to come in and they want to wrestle for me, but then they want to go a half hour down the street and wrestle for that guy and go 20 minutes the other way and wrestle that.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything. Like she said, if she could go see them everywhere, like, oh, wait, I could either go see Hardcore Craig at Blitz tonight, or I could go see him at POW next week.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do? You might go see him at POW because it's a little bit closer to your house.
Right.
To whereas if Craig only wrestled for me, you would have to come see him by me.
Mm-hmm.
I think people should really take pride in that and then make noise in one place. And maybe, just maybe, that company would succeed a little bit better, which would make everybody succeed a little more, which would make maybe the doorsteps of Vince a little bit more closer because we would be making noise and then they would hear about it. It's just people working all over the place. I don't agree with it. I don't care if guys work out of state. I mean, I've always told guys that. Like, if you need help, I got connections in Iowa. I got connections in Milwaukee, Detroit.
Sure.
Like, I got connections places. Just ask me. But these guys want to work quantity over quality, and that's stupid. That's very stupid, actually, because it don't mean shit. If I go see you wrestle every weekend, it's not special.
Yeah.
So
That's the reason why we have like Undertaker and Lesnar. They're
Right.
not there all the time.
right.
You protect
Right.
them. There's exclusivity.
Yeah, and if people would do that on an independent level, it'd be a lot different for everybody. Even if like CSW guys only stayed with CSW,
Right.
but then these guys' excuses are, well, are you going to pay me when I'm not wrestling? Well, no, that's what you have a shoot job for.
Right.
That's going to pay you. I don't know. It's just how I feel.
Right.
Maybe I'm.
Would you
again,
consider running more than one show a month?
I did. I did for a while. And it's a pain in the ass.
No.
The draw started going down in my hometown, so it's like, fuck. I'm not going to do it anywhere else. I'm going to stay here and do it, If I had the budget, as far as the marketing budget, I would do other towns. But being independent and smaller company, I just don't have the budget to travel. So I learned that lesson last year. So
Why
I'm
is it
just-
so hard for a promoter to book in Chicago? Meaning, like, as of right now, there's only one promotion that actually does shows in Chicago, and that's every other month. Why are there not as many shows in the city, considering, like, unless you're in the suburbs, if you have shows in the city, because this particular promotion, when they do it every other month, it's a packed house. Because everybody can get there, it's in the city, it's a good show. Why don't other promoters try to come into the city and do shows?
Because you have to find a niche in the city, and freelance has a niche. They have something that people want. They have that off the wall, quirky, goofy shit. Every other company wants to be WWE. I was asked, why don't I do House of Blues? It wouldn't be worth it to me because I don't know. You know what? That's a very good question. I don't know why.
Because I mean,
I personally won't because I hate downtown.
Well, because I know a long time ago you had people who used to do it at the Congress Theater. They used to do it at the Aragon. So it's like places there's venues in the city that used to have wrestling, and then it went away.
A lot of it might have to do with the rent too. I mean, I don't know what those places charge, but I mean, I'm sure the House of Blues is a big penny. I don't know what freelance pays, but I heard it wasn't that expensive because the place got the booze. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I can only speak for myself as to why I don't come out here is because I hate the city. Just I'm being honest. I would never. There's no way I'd try to come down here with my trailer and all my equipment and no, hell no. No way. No way, Jose.
Get a storage
No way,
place.
Faye.
Storage facility, not too far away from the venue.
Go to
this
bed.
way you don't have to like travel in with everything. It's just there.
Go to bed. Add another expense to my no.
Okay, you can use Sean's apartment to like store everything.
Yeah, my little storage.
Yeah, no. I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, what would you think about doing like a show, per se, at like a Comic-Con? You know, sectioning off a corner of the.
Well, Comic-Con won't let you anymore
They
because
won't?
WWE took all the rights to it.
Right. Well, maybe the C2E2.
Yeah.
And because, like, I saw, the NXT, of course, they had the support, but they were at the Arnold's, and they cornered off a section,
Well,
They didn't charge.
That's
but,
NXT.
Yeah.
Trying to get us into there, I mean, it's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll look into it. But I know Comic-Con won't let us do shit because they're exclusive
Right.
with WWE.
Right. But maybe some of the other ones in the
Yeah,
area.
maybe I will look into that. That might be a good idea.
Because I was thinking that would, people that put new eyes on you.
Right. Yeah.
And people can literally walk up, like I could, up to, and watch it. Of course, there was people in the stands that came early and they had their seat, but you
Right.
could literally walk up, watch it for a few minutes and leave.
Well, I know even though you hate the city, there is this one particular street festival that happens in the summertime. And they put the wrestling ring out and they have matches. And it opens up the eyes for people who didn't know.
I guess another reason why. My God. They're fucking drag racing on here? You know what? I could answer your question of why I won't come into the city. There's a little thing that's left in this business called respect. And I have it for freelance. So that's kind of why I won't come in here too, other than the fact that I hate Chicago. Just like they won't come out to Joliet. They won't come out by my area and do shows because they have respect for me and they won't do it. That street festival, that's theirs.
I
isn't
forget,
it?
they do it in the summertime too. No, I'm talking about a different one.
Another company does
Yeah,
it?
another company does it.
What shit company does it?
Villa Park Underground.
Out here?
Lucha. Yeah, they come out
Oh, yeah. They got
to
that
one of the
lucha.
festivals.
Yeah,
and do
yeah.
it.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's different. That's lucha. I don't know. They're dicks. I don't know. I won't do it.
So you said out of respect you won't do it. Do you think that there's still loyalty within the business as it was when you first started?
No.
Or do you see it dwindling off?
No, there's none. There's no respect in this business. There's very little. Like, I have respect for freelance. I have respect for AEW. I have respect for AEW. You got to give respect to get respect, and a lot of these other companies that don't want to do anything, like, man, I've asked Jimmy Blaze to bury the hatch and let's talk and this and that, and he tells me no, and quite frankly, I don't give a fuck. Like, I won't reach out to him no more, and I won't say anything to him. This business, as far as respect, no, there's nowhere near the amount that when I started was. No way. It's gone down quite a bit. I don't know why. I mean, I think it's more or less that, these new kids come in and they think they run the show, and fuck, back in the day, ask Ego. He came in, he went and did a yarder show. Well, what you would call like anarchy or something. And he got the fuck beat out of him. Like, there was like 3 or 4 of the veterans that beat the shit out of him. Nobody does that nowadays. Everybody's just like, oh, you're wrestling for a shitty company over here? Cool. Like, nobody gives a fuck anymore. And I don't understand why. No clue. But they don't.
So has there ever been a time in the process of you being in the business that it probably has happened where a wrestler has pretty much just been blacklisted? Like, you'll never wrestle in this promotion, you'll never wrestle in that promotion. And if so, how does that happen?
You got to really fuck somebody over who's got a name. I have a few guys that I'll never use, but those reasons are here and there. I mean, you either owe me money or owe my family money, or, I mean, there's all different reasons. I don't think a lot of that goes on nowadays. I know I do it. But it's more or less just out of the respect thing. Like, you don't respect me, you don't respect the company, you don't respect the people in the locker room, well, fuck you. Like, I won't use you again. There's no reason for me to use you. I try to keep my locker room cool. I try to keep everybody together, everybody on the same page, everybody getting along. And the second I try to bring somebody in, and if somebody don't like said person, I figure out why and fix it, or I just don't use one of those people ever again. Mm-hmm. So, but a lot of shit has changed.
All right. And tell us about now the age we're in, the digital age, and possibly getting PW Blitz, streaming live on iPay-per-view. Would that be a possibility later down the road, or you just want people to, come live?
We've been talking about that back and forth because we have a guy, Pete Ferrari. He's doing a lot of our shows.
Yes, I know him well.
And we're talking about going to the iPay-per-views. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, what do you charge for that? I don't know. It quite possibly. We just started periscoping. Got a lot of people watching it last month. But iPay-per-views, I don't know yet. We'll see. It's in the agenda. It's just not to the front of it yet.
Sure.
So.
Definitely. How about the merchandising standpoint of PW Blitz? Can people, buy the products online, T-shirts?
Yeah, they go online,
stuff?
or a lot of people buy the shit at the show. Where it's easier, you could just get it right there.
Sure.
A lot of people are talking to us about DVDs now, so we're starting to sell DVDs online starting next week. Yeah, I mean, merchandise is good, but we're independent. You know what I mean? Like, people want to see it, but people want shows that they've been to.
Yeah.
Oh, it was that last month's show? Could I get a tape of it? Because they think they're going to see themselves in the audience or something.
That's true. I'm one of those people.
So, but we're going to start selling DVDs online. As far as merchandising, I mean, we got some cool shit, but I heard there's this new T-shirt company. Actually, I talked to somebody about it because I heard there's a new T-shirt company other than 1 Hour Tees.
Okay.
And I'd like to get them some exposure and see if we get them rocking and rolling.
Where are they located?
I don't know, somewhere down here.
Can we possibly see the shirt you have?
Maybe.
So,
Maybe. I don't know.
You have to get Faye a cut.
Yeah. Oh, fuck no. It's my name.
I will take the shirt back.
I already got the idea, so I don't give a shit. I don't know. It's somewhere
People
down here.
out there, I'm patenting that. That's my
Yeah,
idea.
no.
So, if you see it, I'm the person that you come talk to.
No. Wow, thanks.
So you
here every time? Never come back down here again.
So when do you? How long do you see yourself wrestling for now? I mean, you just came back. Was it just like a one-timer thing?
It was a one-time thing. I don't want to embarrass the business, unlike people like Jimmy Blaze, who's so fat and doesn't look like a wrestler. Actually, I heard he just kind of took a step back, which thank you.
Wasn't he the one that was the Anarchy champion?
No.
I think?
No.
Not him. Okay.
I don't want to embarrass the business. I could never. One compliment I got from last Saturday or whatever Saturday ago was my buddy Ben was sitting in the audience. And now my gimmick last weekend was me being just a fat guy eating food. That's my gimmick. And he was sitting next to a bunch of people. And now my buddy Ben comes up to me. He goes, "Hey, I just want to tell you, you really did a great job." And I'm like, "Dude, all I did was a few things and I ate food. It's not really that big of a deal." He's like, "Yeah, but the people in front of me understood what was going on. They knew you couldn't give a 5-star match, but they knew you could entertain us." So that was cool to hear. Like, all right, I'm still going to entertain you. I know I can't go out there and do what I used to. But until I lose, fuck, man, I'd like to lose 80 pounds. If that happens, I'll get back in the ring a couple times because I would like to wrestle my son. But until then, I wouldn't embarrass the business by strapping up a singlet and actually trying to have a match. Never happened.
Right.
It's too much of an embarrassment.
Now, you mentioned being too old to do it. Do you think that wrestlers nowadays should have like an age cutoff?
No, because look at Al Snow. I mean, he's 55, 56, 52? 52. And he looks better than 90% of the independent wrestlers out there. So, absolutely not. I mean, if you could still go, Jerry Lynn, he was great up until his neck surgery. I just talked to him a couple days ago. No, if you could go, like, it depends. If you look like me, yeah, you should probably hang it up. Or until you get in better shape, because back in the day, I used to look good. I used to be fit, and I used to, but age catches up to you and everything else. But if you look like Al Snow, Tommy Dreamer could still, all these guys could still go. They're back in fucking WWE now. I'd love to see Al back on TV. He deserves to be back on TV. He looks better than half of the guys there.
Right.
So no, unless you're like Gypsy Joe or Jimmy Blaze. Yeah, I don't really see an age cutoff. If you can still go and you still look good, God bless. If you're fat and out of shape, give it a break. Get it? Fat and out of shape.
T-shirt idea.
Oh, fuck that T-shirt. Fuck that T-shirt.
Okay, so another question for you, because I know I got to like a lot of indie shows.
Jesus Christ, she don't shut up.
No, I don't. So I go to like a lot of indie shows, and there's like a couple of things that I see. When you're waiting in line, you hear the people talking about, oh, I hate WWE this, oh, I hate WWE that, WWE sucks. But as soon as they sit down in those chairs, they start yelling out WWE moves, calling certain wrestlers like the names that they would use for like one of the WWE superstars. How do you feel about when you're at a show or you're at your own show and this happens? Because it's like, okay, I'm not trying to associate myself with WWE. What I produce and what I put out is like totally, completely different. But you're trying to bring another company into what it is that I'm doing.
Personally, I mean, it don't bother me. Look, we all want to be WWE. We don't want to be TNA. We all want to be WWE.
I like TNA.
God, you're I think the third viewer.
She's lying.
I think you're the third viewer. We all want to be WWE. So if people are going to come in there and say WWE, I mean, that's, I don't know. I don't pay attention to it. And, you know, when the guy, what makes me laugh is when people are yelling boring, or they're yelling, you know, you fucked up, or, you know, stupid shit like that. That bothers me more than if they're going to yell WWE shit, because I could guarantee you the people yelling you fucked up or boring are people who've never laced up a boot, who have never gotten into a fucking ring, who've never got knocked out, who's never gotten a concussion, who's never, they're people that are just sitting in their fucking keyboard and talking shit about us. Mm-hmm. Lace it up, come in the ring. When people tell me it's fake, oh, wrestling's fake, I always tell them, please come in the ring and let me clothesline you. Mm-hmm. Ask Frankie what happened when I clotheslined him. Right. He couldn't walk straight for 2 days because I clotheslined him so hard, because he wanted to get in the business and he wanted to be a mark and jump into this gimmick battle royal we had at Stone Cold, and I told him, I mean, to this day he'll tell people that he couldn't walk straight because I fucking labeled him, wanted him to see what it's like. For people who say that shit, I'd rather hear the WWE shit than people chanting it's boring, or, you know, this shit's you know, or you fucked up, or yeah, we fuck up. What the fuck? We're not all perfect. Mm-hmm. So the minute they want to lace up after the show and getting in there with us.
Now, getting back to the ones that you mentioned that are online, and those are the ones who make the biggest comments, do you think that social media has helped or hindered the business now? Because back then, you know, there was no social media, right, so you actually had to go out and watch it.
Oh, yeah, it's totally killed. That's part of the reason why the business sucks. You got all these stupid dirt sheets, and literally, I could promise you, this guy, I'm not going to name him, well, the Poisonous Anchovy, I've seen him have his views on shows before, and I could guarantee you he's never been a foot in the ring. It's absolutely, it's the social media of guys sitting behind keyboards thinking they know how a wrestling match is supposed to go, or they know how moves are supposed to go, and they have not the slightest fucking clue. And they write all their shit, and then you got the other guys sitting there like, oh yeah, he's right, oh yeah. No, it's fucking stupid. Like, I'd like to get any of those guys in a ring. Come in the ring, let's go. We're not gonna do anything. You should know because you write this behind a keyboard. Let's go. Let's have a match right now, and let's do it. And 99% of them won't do it. Mm. So, fuck them.
So is there like one credible blogger or website that you would say, okay, if you saw it here, it would probably be valid, as opposed to, let's just say, one is called I Still Like Wrestling, or Wrestling's Still Real to Us, something like that. Is there one that you would say, okay,
No.
you know, no?
Not that I know of. I mean, I'm not a big blogger. I don't go on the internet to read any of this bullshit. I don't do that. So, off the top of my head, no. I mean, maybe there is, and I just don't know. But off the top of my head, there's nothing that I would say, you got to go to this website if you really want to know what the fuck is going on. Nobody knows. Vince knows. Vince is the only one that knows. So, I have no clue. Not a fucking clue. Yeah. Kayfabe News. Yeah. There you go. Go to Kayfabe News.
Okay. Everything on there is real.
Yeah. Go to Kayfabe News. That's the best website ever.
Another question I was asked, is there thought about bringing some of the Asian wrestlers over to be in PW Blitz? Let's see if they're doing the tour of
Oh,
America.
fuck. I'd love to. But bringing them from Japan and stuff is
Well,
just...
if they're in the area.
Oh, yeah. If they're in the area, I'd love to. I've actually been looking into bringing in a Great Muta.
Awesome.
But he wants a first-class ticket from Japan, and that's like $3,000. And then his fee is like a lot. Like almost 5 times that.
Wow.
So, but yeah, if they're ever here, I'm going to start looking into that next year when Dragon Gate and all that shit's here.
Yeah, New Japan is coming.
Are they?
Yeah.
When?
May. With
Really?
ROH.
See, I might try to capitalize on something like that.
Awesome. I'm of Asian American descent myself, so I'd like to see more Asian
Yeah, I'd
American.
fucking...
And they
I'd
wrestle very well.
love to do
Form.
some guys from there, but just the fee, the price to come over is just so fucking expensive.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Fuck that.
But you see more integration now. You know, they'll be competing over here more often, and you know, traveling hopefully more often.
Well, my
We'll
goal is
see.
to have Muta. We'll see.
Why are there not as many women in the business? Meaning,
But-
like, you go to a Shimmer, like, I love Shimmer Weekend because it's like, that's when you get all the women from
Yeah.
all over and they wrestle. And, like, when you look at it now, especially, let's back to the Chicagoland area, there's probably 5.
Name them.
Heidi, Melanie,
Heidi's not from here.
I know, but she wrestles
Oh.
in the area.
Yeah, there's Heidi.
Allison Kay, she wrestles in the area.
God,
You
I
can
haven't
go.
seen her in forever.
So it's like, you know, you have a few that wrestle in the area when they're here.
I know why I don't book women.
Why? Are you sexist?
I know why I don't book women. It's because they're like little people. They charge way too much fucking money. Like, women, you know, I actually contacted one the other day, and she's like, here's how I look at it. If a girl wants $750 to come in, and a WWE superstar wants $750 to come in, who would you pay?
Superstar.
Like, women, a lot of women wrestlers think that because they're women, and this is just being true, like, they could charge whatever they want. I do my booking and my paying out based on, well, if this person wants this amount, but this person wants this amount, which would, well, this WWE name would make more money than this girl would. That's personally why I don't book women. I think there's a lot of great women wrestlers out there, but as far as really booking them, I mean, and a lot of them are, I don't know. I mean, Melanie's my top girl, and all I have is her. But there might be one other girl coming in for me, but it's a money thing. I mean, I'm not going to pay a girl who nobody around here has ever heard of $750 when I could bring in Honky Tonk Man or something for the same price. It's just not worth it. I'm not saying Honky takes that $750, but you know what I'm saying. I'm just getting a point across.
Sure.
Just not going to pay a girl that much. Guys don't even get paid that much.
Well, they're guys.
Oh yeah, that's
They're low
right.
maintenance.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there's hair, there's makeup, there's gear. It's harder to be a woman wrestler, so of course they
What a
want
crock
more.
of shit.
Well, my question is, would you be open to having a core group of women wrestle for you that are learning the business, train the business, and
Yeah.
maybe developing something out of there?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a girl right now out there that's training with somebody else. Miss Pat introduced me to her at the Odeum, but she's training with somebody else, and she's not going to get the experience or the proper training from that person.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a girl out there that I'd like to start training, but she's too loyal to this other guy, and my goal is to train a girl right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want a girl to train.
Really?
Because I think between me, Melanie, and the people that I have, we could train her pretty good. I mean, Melanie has been over to Japan already 2 or 3 times this year, and I know she's going back. But there's very far and few in between girls that really want to train.
Right.
There's one girl, but she's too loyal somewhere else. I don't know her name. What's her name?
Haley.
Haley, yeah.
Okay.
Haley. Why are you fucking laughing, Joe?
You know why.
Yeah, I just fucking remembered that.
Yeah, you know why.
No, but Haley, I mean, she's got a good look, but I mean, I've never seen her in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen videos and it looks like shit, but
Did you end her?
what?
Mean. That's just mean.
Who's
She's
mean?
been doing a lot of valet though now recently.
Right? Who the fuck? She doesn't want a valet. She wants to wrestle, but she can't wrestle because she's not being trained properly. And don't sit there and say I'm mean. That's why people hate me, is because I tell the truth. I mean, she sucks. What? It's true. Look at her videos. I'd like to bring her in by me and see if she could do one spot, and I guarantee you she can't. And I'm not, by no means have I ever said I was the greatest. I never claimed to be. I never even claimed to be good. I just know a lot of shit, and I know a lot of people who know a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it is. She doesn't know shit. And it's a shame, because she's going to waste her time like I did at PCW. She's going to waste her time sitting there valeting for people and doing all this, and her window of opportunity is going to come and go.
So Haley, if you're listening to this, you might want to give this guy a ring.
I don't want to get married.
Give him a call. Is
Yeah,
that
thank
better?
you. Yeah, thank you. I don't get married. Fuck that. Fuck that. If anybody's listening to this, probably never get married.
Anything you'd like to say out there to people that check out your website? And
Yeah, go to
training school.
pwblitz.com. Haley, if you're listening, give me a call. Don't give me a ring. Give me a call. I'd like to talk to you about training. If you're looking to get in this business, you're a fool. But if you really want to, give Joe Alonzo a call. He can help you out. He's right there. Take a picture, Joe. Turn the camera around. See? Check out our Facebook. That's where a lot of our activity is. Let's go to Facebook, PW Blitz. Yeah, December 19th.
Excellent. And then what
can't
should people
wait.
look forward to next year? Can you tease anything?
Um,
Because I know you're selling the season tickets right now.
WrestleFest next year will probably be one of the biggest independent wrestling spectacular. What's that word? Yeah,
Spectacle.
spectacle. Whatever the fuck that word is. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be fucking big. What we have in the works right now, I'm gonna go finalize everything here in the next couple weeks. But you will probably never see another independent show quite like this.
What is WrestleFest?
It's a wrestling show.
It's in
Like,
August.
what makes it different from me going to something else?
I bring in a whole shitload of names, and starting next year, it'll be like an all-day event. It'll be a convention / carnival / pro wrestling / concert / whole bunch of shit.
And you've sold out before.
Yeah, last year we had 2,300 people, and this year we had about 1,500. So Yeah, but this 2016 is going to be crazy. Plus, I mean, we do a lot in the summer, so we do a lot with the baseball teams and Great America and Full Throttle Saloon, shit like that. Check us out. We're all over the place.
Any chance of you pre-listing dates as opposed to just doing it a month out?
Yeah, a friend of mine told me about that, so I'm going to take them up on it and freshen up the website this weekend.
Excellent. Well, and thank you again, Tony, for being on The Voice of the Voiceless.
Don't thank me. Thank Faye.
Thank you to Faye as well for being on the show.
Don't thank Faye. Thank Joe.
Thanks to Joe. On Periscope. Hey, I would like to have you back on before
Oh,
WrestleFest.
fuck, that sucks. No problem, man. I'm always ready to do radios, podcasts. Yeah, you have to come by me. I'll come down there again.
Cool. We'd love to have you back on.
Fucking hate the city.
And best of luck December 19th.
Thank you, sir.
Looking forward to a great show.
Thank you.
Chase for the Gold, December 19th out in Joliet.
Yes, sir.
St. Joe's Park.
Cannot wait, people. Go get your fucking tickets. PWBlitz.com. We're giving away movie tickets if you buy tickets.
Oh, yeah. Isn't there a Star Wars theme to the show?
Giving away free tickets to the movie to go see Star Wars if you buy your tickets.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, I'm lucky Pat's here. Yeah, and don't forget, we're having a coat drive. We're going to actually, everything that's donated on Saturday, we're going to come down to the city on Sunday and go find as many homeless people as we can and give them clothes and food and do everything we can for them for the holidays.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
It's good to get back.
Yeah, and I don't want to give it to, a big-time charity place or any of that bullshit. I want to go hand it to people myself and give them something so that they know it's from us to them and they don't have to wait in line for the shit. They don't have to do none of that. It's us coming down here and doing it ourselves.
Awesome.
So
well, let me know if you're in town.
So are you going to come downtown or are you going to leave downtown alone?
No, I'm coming downtown.
But there's other areas in the city that could utilize it. Everybody always helps out the downtown homeless. But then you have areas like further north around where I live at. They sleep underneath a bridge. People always forget about them.
I seen something. Yeah, well, that's where I want to go. Like, I'm not saying they're necessarily downtown. Like, I went by a friend the other day and drove underneath the bridge, and on both sides of the bridge was just at least 20 people on each side, homeless people. That's where I want to go. I want to go help them people.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what I'm giving them isn't a ton. It's not like giving them a shit ton of money, but it's something to hopefully make them get through the winter, some food in their belly, and just bring up their their spirit a little bit.
That's great.
Got to give back here. Mm-hmm. Look at that. I don't even fucking live in the city and I'm doing this. I could fucking go to Joliet and give it to homeless people. I'm coming to the city. There's really not a lot of homeless people out by me. Love the suburbs. Fuck downtown.
Uh-oh. You got Faye.
Here's a match that we can announce for 2017.
Oh.
Alex versus Tony.
2017, you need a whole fucking year to get ready? I'm ready to go. Who the fuck up?
I'm not medically clear.
Right.
Yeah.
So you'll have to take her
into
the
guess
ring
so.
and show her.
I'll beat her ass.
Wow. Yeah, it looks easy on TV, but guess what? It's not.
It's not at all.
Right.
It is not easy.
It takes years of perfection. And what do you think about before I throw it out there, CM Punk doing UFC? Going to make his MMA debut.
He's not.
You don't think so?
No. I really don't. I mean, there was way too much fucking hype behind it to just be. Why isn't there any video of his camps?
Right.
Why?
I haven't seen it.
Why is there nothing hyping this big debut up? Why is there nothing? Why has there not been a date set? Even if you set it for next fucking August.
Well, he got hurt, and but there's a lot of stone.
It's not going to happen. Really? It's not going to happen. I think it was a ploy to rib off of WWE. I think it was to get UFC some hype. Maybe I'm totally wrong. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but I don't see it. I don't see him fighting. I don't see any videos from his camps. I don't see any videos of him training. You don't see anything.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, maybe he's just keeping it real hush-hush until he's ready. But as of right now, myself, I don't think he's going to have a fight. Mm-hmm. But that's just me. Maybe he will, and and if he does, he's probably going to get a rubber match. He's going to get some dude who's 0-20, who's got not the experience he does, and I don't know. I hope it's soon if he does fight.
Yeah.
But I don't see it happening anytime soon.
Okay. We'll see in the future. It's interesting to see.
We'll see.
A lot of hybrid, people do MMA and wrestling. So
yeah.
I think Alison Case, she just did MMA.
Did she really?
Win debut, yeah.
Oh wow.
She won her debut by choke. She's sporting.
See how long she been training?
I don't know.
Probably not long.
Right, not that long.
And Punk's been training for what, a year and a half now already?
Yeah, almost a year.
At least a year?
Yeah.
And he hasn't done shit?
No, not yet.
I don't see it happening.
Okay. Tony, thank you again.
No problem, thank you.
December 19th, check out PW Blitz, Chase for the Gold.
Thank you.
I enjoy it.
This is Tony Scarpone, and you're listening to Voice of the Voiceless Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Well, we're back here on the Voice of the Voiceless Pro Wrestling Podcast, and I'm here with Faye. We're going to give our predictions for the WWE TLC 2015 pay-per-view. Faye, what do you think of the card, how it's shaped up so far?
I mean, right now we're looking at Kevin Owens versus Dean for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
I kind of sort of see Dean getting over because it's one of those where I know everybody's in love with Kevin Owens, but let's just face it. Kevin Owens gets carried through every single match that
you
he's
think
in.
that? He's a ring
does.
general from ROH.
But still, when you watch him wrestle, especially when you look at one match he had against Neville a couple of weeks back, Neville carried that whole match. And then at the end, how everybody loves to say, oh, Charlotte versus Nikki. Nikki carried the whole entire match, and then Charlotte won. Same thing in Neville versus Owens. Same thing in Owens versus whoever else.
Well, it's a WWE style. Okay, you have to be there long enough to adapt, and obviously, if you're not there as long as other people who've been there longer than you, it takes time to adapt to the style.
I mean, it's kind of bad to say it, but watching Kevin Owens wrestle sometimes is like me watching ZZ from Tough Enough.
Really?
Because he takes too many breaks.
And they talking to a big Kevin Owens fan.
He takes breaks, and it's one of those, it's like...
But he's brilliant on the microphone.
I mean, he has mic skills, and don't get me wrong, I give everybody credit where credit's due. I mean, he had to have some type of it factor in order for him to, cross over to WWE. But it's just one of those where if you actually take time not to watch the match as a fan, but actually just to watch the matches that he's in, he gets carried a lot. Because it's one of those where Owens is not... seeing an Owens versus Neville, Owens not good with high flyers and quick guys. Owens, for me, if I was booking him, it would be like the Rybacks.
The John Cena was a good match to
right.
start off with.
Like the bigger guys. Those would be the guys that I would put him in matches with. I wouldn't put him in a match with the luchadors or the Usos. People that are quick, speedy, high flyers. Those are not the ones that would be a good match for him because you're watching it and it's like they can't do everything that they want to do because, you have to keep up with somebody else's speed.
Definitely.
So, and that one I would love to see Ambrose get over because Ambrose needs another title.
You see, I disagree. I don't think Ambrose needs a belt right now. I think Kevin Owens needs it more. And another thing I will tell you is brilliant matches between Kevin Owens when he was Kevin Steen versus Sami Zayn, El Generico. I thought they matched very well. They had a great feud in ROH, and I got to watch those matches again because perhaps you were right. Even in those matches,
but here's the other catch to it, though. Those are two people that were best friends, so even outside the ring, they still train together. But let's just say, I'm pretty sure, even though we don't know how training goes, locker rooms or anything like that, I'm pretty sure that Kevin Owens isn't training with an Adrian Neville every single day. So it's one of those, once you get out there and you see the match, it's like, it's almost like when you're watching Breaking Ground and you heard Zack Ryder talking to Mojo Rawley. And he was like, you know, the only time we actually see each other is when we have to step in the ring together.
Right.
So it's not like, you know, you're practicing together and you're working on these moves together. It's one of those that, you know, for me, I look at wrestling to be like a dance. And you can watch it and sometimes say, okay, you know what, the choreography is off.
Right.
So that's the reason why I say, you know, certain people, I wouldn't book them for it. I mean, you're doing it based on name. Yeah, it's Neville versus Owens. Or it's Neville versus Ambrose is going to be great because they both have almost like the similar style of wrestling. So, like, it won't be like a whole bunch of high-fly maneuvers. So, yeah, I think that one's going to be a good match.
It's going to be good. I got Kevin Owens. He's going to get the pump-up powerbomb for the win. But it could go either way. I mean, Ambrose has been very solid. And so I believe that, you know, Ambrose just doesn't need the belt. He can stand to lose a lot of matches and still be over with the crowd, and you can utilize him that way. And also in title matches as well, because, you know, we are going to have to get Sheamus to WrestleMania, and it's a possibility that Dean would fight him along the way.
Well, here's the thing when it comes to that. They already have somebody in the business that they can actually utilize for, well, you know, you don't need a strap on you to prove who you are. That's what they have Bray Wyatt there for.
Right.
So it's like, you know, you already have him there.
Right.
So, and I mean.
But I'm saying Ambrose can compete at that championship level. I mean, he's been in that title match.
Right.
A couple title matches, I believe.
And it's one of those where he's already had the title. So it's not like, oh, he's being screwed over. Why don't you give him the title?
Right.
Only reason why I'm saying that he would be a good fit for it is because it's like, okay, you know what? Owens, you've had it long enough. Me personally, I'm getting tired of seeing you. So let's give it to another guy.
Right. It could, just for the sake of switching hands, but I heard about the potential match between Kevin Owens and Brock Lesnar happening as soon as Royal Rumble. And Brock Lesnar possibly winning the IC title. That's just a rumor.
That would be a shit show. I mean, in all honesty, watching Lesnar wrestle, because of UFC, I say personally, UFC screwed over Lesnar's wrestling career because you can't now watch it. As a fan, you can watch it and say, oh yeah, it's Lesnar. But as me, who's somebody who's watching it just to like me, I analyze everything.
Right.
So for me, I'm watching the matches and I'm like, there's no way in hell you can like legitimately take Lesnar on in a fucking fight and win. So if you beat Lesnar, it's like, what the hell? And I mean, for me, what solidified all of that was the John Cena, Brock Lesnar SummerSlam match. It was one of those where, you know, he dominated that whole entire match. So now there's no way in hell that you can come back and say, oh, this person will be able to beat Brock Lesnar.
Right.
It's like he dominated Cena.
Yeah,
so
he
it's
did.
kind of sort of like, they need a fresh face. Like, I would love to see Apollo Crews versus Brock Lesnar. That would be a phenomenal match.
I'm high on Apollo, so absolutely. Well, my predictions is Kevin Owens, and yours is Dean Ambrose.
Yes.
Moving on, you have Ryback versus Rusev. It's an interesting little feud because, you know, we've got Rusev joining the League of Nations, obviously, and he's brought Lana back. And there's been, you know, some confrontation between him and Ryback because of Lana.
See, honestly, I haven't really been. I'm one of those people that I love WWE, and anytime I have to stop watching a show an hour before it's over with, or an hour and a half before it's over with, that's saying a lot. It's one of those now for me. I'm to the point of I'm about ready to take a break from WWE because it's not where it should be. And like the Rana, and it's like the Ryback Rusev thing, like I didn't see that feud, but just for somebody who's looking at this card, I'm like, that match doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
But if I had to pick, I would go with Rusev for it, only because I see an interference from somebody from the league.
Yeah, me too. I think Rusev gets it with the League of Nations, and we'll see how that storyline develops. And next up, we have the New Day versus the Usos versus the Lucha Dragons, a ladder match for the tag team titles.
Lucha Dragons, I love them dearly. They were phenomenal when they were in NXT. And unfortunately, them, like most of the Hispanic gimmicks that come up through WWE, they're not getting their due. They're I mean, it's like they're there. You knew they were great in NXT. Tag team division in WWE was suffering, so they called them up. And they're not using them to their full potential. Right. I mean, if I had to pick, I would love to see the Usos win it again because they're for the kids. And, you know, it would make the kids happy. But unfortunately, New Day is going to win because you still have Xavier, who's going to be on the outside of the ring and do something.
I see the New Day winning as well. They're gonna find a way to get it done. But it's possibility in the tag team division. You heard about Bubba Ray Dudley recently. He tweeted out to the Hardys. To a fan, but he really is pushing for that match with the Hardys at WrestleMania, which is obviously not going to happen at this point in time because they're signed with TNA.
I mean, the only way I can honestly see the Hardys, and I think the only hindrance at the moment for the Hardys coming back to WWE, and it has nothing to do with TNA, is the fact of the matter that unfortunately Matt didn't leave on a good note. And Matt has like all of this controversy from the past. I mean, you know, they'll forgive Jeff very, very quickly, which is kind of crazy because had it not been for Matt being the older brother, Jeff would have never gotten into the business. So they would accept Jeff back quickly because the fans love Jeff.
They would.
Jeff made money. But let's just face it, you can't have one Hardy without the other. No. So it's just a matter. I mean, I would love to see them come back and see what they can do. But in the exact same token, everybody's all for like, oh yeah, let's bring this person back in. Let's bring that person back in. Issue with doing that is you bring all these people in. What about everybody else? That's just true. Like, you know, bring up all this talent from TNA. And I want to see the New Day
at WrestleMania. They deserve it.
Right.
Whatever match they bring, hopefully they're in there. And, of course, the Dudleys, great to see them at Mania as well. And from this point on, you know, we'll see what they do with that. You know, I'm sure they'll have a way to make it, you know, more appealing for all the fans to watch at this point. But the Hardys is wishful thinking.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Divas title match? Charlotte and Paige in a rematch.
Honesty, they're calling for a Divas Revolution.
Right.
I'm getting sick and tired of seeing the exact same people in matches.
Yeah. Meaning
that Paige has had all of these diva matches over and over and over again. Give me a Charlotte versus Sasha.
Right.
Give me a Charlotte versus Becky.
Right.
For me, it's one of those where
maybe
obviously
they're saving that for later.
It's one of those where obviously because it's TLC and it's like a in-between show.
Yeah.
The title won't change hands at TLC.
There was a rumor that this was supposed to be a ladder match. That's what got me excited, but obviously that was just a rumor.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's going to be one that it's obviously going to be Charlotte getting over
I think so as well. I think Charlotte, she's been, you know, really good. And, you know, I disagree, though. I like Paige, you know, competing. But you're right. Give someone else a chance later down the road. They have to build someone first. Because where's the revolution? That's my point.
Well, the revolution was there, but then it went quickly to the side because they started having the exact same matches over and over again. And when I say that, this is what I mean. You brought all these people up from NXT, but you still gave us Nikki versus Paige, or Brie versus Paige, or Naomi versus this person. And, I mean, in all honesty, I love Becky to death, but the worst thing that ever happened to Becky was being called up.
BPCB, yeah. And here's my opinion, too. I think they should just make a non-title match at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Give the girl to build them up.
Exactly.
And the title a break. And next up, you got the Wyatts versus Team ECW. Rhino, Dreamer, and the Dudleys.
That was an easy one. I mean, the Wyatt family is going to win. I mean, when you look at Team ECW, It's the veteran team. They're not there to win titles. They're not, and that's what people tend to forget. And they're like, oh, the Dudleys should be tag team champions and this and that and third. They're not there to win titles. They are strictly there to build up the new talent. Except for my issue with when they say build up new talent. Prime example, Sting said it himself. He was like, I'm here to build up the new talent. But then you had a match against Seth Rollins. Right. That's not new talent. That's talent that's already known. Right. So for me, if you're saying, okay, I'm here to build up new talent, that means you stay your ass in NXT and you wrestle against those guys. Right. Build them up. Don't build up the people that are already on the main roster because that's what they're there for. Right. So for that one, I already have I have the Wyatts getting over.
Wyatts, they need to get a win as well. They've been on the losing end. You know, they lost to Undertaker and Kane.
Right.
And, you know, I see the Wyatt family winning. And it'll be great to see the originals, you know, come back and perform. But obviously, they're not going to stay there.
Yeah.
And the Dudleys will move on as well.
Exactly.
I know this match came out of nowhere, but it's interesting. Next up, you got Del Rio versus Swagger. It's a chairs match for the U.S. title.
Swagger needs this match. I mean, like, I know for some people, when he came back on the main TV, everybody was like, oh, Swagger's back. No, Swagger's been there. Yeah. He's just been on Superstars and Main Event. So it's one of those where this is a match that Swagger needs.
Yes.
For so many different reasons. But the main one is to make himself relevant again. It's one of those where Del Rio's still doing an independent scene, as we saw from the video, the fan punching him in the face. So, I mean, he's still doing an independent scene, so he doesn't need it as much as Swagger does.
Yeah. At this point, is he just doing the rest of his dates that he was obligated? Similar to what Daniel Bryan did?
Yeah.
Okay. I agree. Jack Swagger needs it, but somehow I think Del Rio screws Jack to make it more of a feud going forward. There's always a possibility that Jack Swagger could eliminate Del Rio, putting him over in the Royal Rumble.
This is true.
Later down the road. And then they always somehow do title changes on the road to WrestleMania. Sometimes. Not the world title, but, you know, minor titles. So it's possibly that Jack Swagger gets in the long run. But I think it's better to keep it on Del Rio. He's hotter now.
Yeah.
And, you know, although Swagger needs to win, it's possibility, you know, he could get a win over Del Rio in a non-title match at Raw and still be put over, but it wouldn't be the same.
Yes.
And then the main event, of course, is Sheamus as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion taking on Roman Reigns in the TLC matchup. And it's been quite a few years since Sheamus has headlined a pay-per-view as a champion.
This is true. And although I'm a Roman Reigns fan, I like Sheamus as a champion.
Yes.
But I don't like this form of Sheamus as champion. Because, granted, well, here's the good thing about Sheamus being champion right now. He's not at the authority's side like you saw with Orton and like you saw with Rollins. He has his own crew. Right. So, I mean, that's a plus. My biggest fear was, you know, he gets the title and now he's running up behind authority every 5 minutes. I give him credit. He's held it on his own. He's done what he needed to do. It's not, I'm going to run tell mommy and daddy you're being mean to me, so this way you can get inside to a bad match. In all honesty, if I have to pick a winner, and this is only because holiday shows coming to Chicago, and unfortunately, I don't know why, WWE does not like Chicago, so they will never give us the World Heavyweight Champion at a Chicago holiday show.
Right, because they run 2 shows at
we
the same
get the
day.
B players.
Right.
And this time, last year, it was Madison Square Garden that got the A team. We got the B team. This year, we get the B team. Connecticut gets the A team. So for me, as being a Roman Reigns fan, I don't want Roman to win the title because I paid my money to see Roman at the holiday show. and not Sheamus if Sheamus relinquishes the title. So that's the only reason why I would prefer Roman not to get over in that match. I mean, it would be nice to see the strap on him for longer than 5 minutes and 15 seconds. Right. But it's one of those where I was surprised that WWE screwed him again. 2 years, twice in 1 year with the Money in the Bank.
Yeah. At this point, I think it's a slow burn for Roman. I think he's eventually going to win it, possibly at WrestleMania.
I kind of sort of see it's Daniel Bryan all over again.
Right. That's
meaning
that's
that
what I'm seeing
when
too.
Daniel, except for it was the opposite, because when Daniel Bryan won the title and he lost, and ironically, it was both times it was to Sheamus. So when he won the title and he lost in 18 seconds at WrestleMania, it was to Sheamus.
Yeah.
When Roman won the title and kept it for 5 minutes and 15 seconds, it was at a loss to Sheamus. So it's one of those where they're treating Roman like they did Bryan, and trying to do the whole Cinderella story. The only bad thing is, and what does not work in their favor, was Daniel was able to say the reason why they didn't want me as champion was because I did not have the look.
Right.
And with Roman, you've already said, oh, you have the look, you're what we want, blah, blah, blah. So, you can't make a Cinderella story out of that.
No, you can't. He's got the appearance already. You can't do that. Absolutely. And I believe Sheamus obviously is going to win this match.
Of course.
The deck is stacked in his favor. But we'll see what comes out. It should be an entertaining fight.
Of course. Yes.
To end the show. And obviously from here, I believe Roman Reigns, you might have him win the Royal Rumble.
They won't have him win the Royal Rumble
twice in a row? No.
That's like although I was surprised when they had CM Punk win Money in the Bank back to back, but I don't see them having him win the Royal Rumble twice in one, back to back. Just like this year, Slammy Awards are Monday.
But he could win the title at Royal Rumble. It's possible they save it for that.
If anything, if they give him the title shot and he wins it, they'll either do it as a fuck you to the fans at WrestleMania,
right?
The biggest place of them all to do it,
or
they'll save it for SummerSlam. They
really
won't
that
do
long?
Yeah, they won't do, because like I said, when you look at it, most times title hardly ever changes hands if it's not at one of the major four.
That's true.
So it's one of those where we're stuck with Sheamus in a League of Nations. Probably for another 5 months.
Really? Past Mania, huh? I think Roman has a chance to win at Mania if he's in the matchup. Mm-hmm. And I heard so many rumors about what's going to go, if it's going to be him versus Ambrose and Rollins. Well, of course, that's no longer in the mix because we know Rollins will probably likely miss Mania.
Yes.
But there's an opportunity that he does come back because he's very aggressive. I mean, he's an animal, so he's rehabbing as hell to get back.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, it's pretty safe to say that I think Roman Reigns, if he's in that matchup, he wins it at Mania.
Hopefully. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
And from there, they'll have to see, who they put him up against. Would they put him up against Cena and do face versus face? It's just no matter who's the champion, the booking options are limited.
That is true.
This point.
But we shall see. We have to wait and see.
Well, that's it for the TLC predictions. Now, moving on, NXT prediction. I just want to do the main event. How about the main event? No?
What is the main event?
Oh, you don't? For NXT TakeOver London?
Look, I'm behind on NXT.
Okay.
I
sorry,
actually just spent like 2 days watching Breaking Ground because everybody told me to watch it. And I was like, holy shit, this show is actually good.
It is a good show. Let's talk about that. I like the show.
Yes, I love Breaking Ground, especially like I'm watching it and in the background I'm seeing people like Allison Kay. And it's one of those, I'm like, hey, I know her.
Right.
I know, actually, I'm looking at it like, I know that bra.
Right. There's a lot of
untold
stories.
Bra.
Yeah.
So it's one of those where it's like, you see what life is like on the road. Granted, a lot of it's scripted like any type of reality show. But, I mean, just to see it, I mean, like, for me, I'm waiting for them to kick ZZ off.
Me too.
It's one of those, ZZ literally pisses me the fuck off.
But one person that you thought might get kicked off was that Nymph. Aribe.
Yeah, I
Leah,
wanted
and
her to
she's
go.
here.
I did not think that they were going to tell the
Well,
other
they didn't
girl
give
to
her a
leave.
chance yet. That was the whole thing.
But she went. My thing is, there are two things you never do in life, and I've seen those two
Right.
things happen on the show. When ZZ walked off out of the ring,
Right.
you pretty much just walked off of work.
Right.
You don't do that shit.
No,
That
you
should have
don't.
been an automatic firing. And when Noof went to Sarah and was like, "Well, you told me I was gonna be on the card,
Well, I think
and
that's
now
a little,
I'm not
I think
on
you're
it."
a little
It's
hard
one of
on
those
that.
where it's like,
People do ask that.
no, but it's one of those where it's like, okay, everything happens for a good reason.
Right.
You've been in this business long enough to know if I didn't put you on a card, don't question me.
Right.
Like in my case, I used to be a manager. And the one thing I used to hate my associates doing was they would come to me like a kid and ask me these little stupid fucked up questions. And I'm then looking at them like, did you really just ask me this?
Right.
Like, don't fucking question what I'm doing. If I'm doing it for a reason.
Right.
So, yeah, I thought that Noof was going to be the one to get kicked out
Right.
because Sarah was backing the other girl. Mm-hmm. So when they let her go, I was just like,
and
holy
that's surprising.
shit.
Well, look at I think Matt was blacking the guy that just got cut. You know,
I missed this Monday.
Oh,
Who
I'm
got
sorry.
cut?
Oh, I'm sorry. I should
No,
have
which one got
predicted.
cut?
The guy with the shoulder injury.
No!
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry.
Well, I know that they were concerned because that was like the
Yes.
third time.
I'm sorry if I
So
spoiled
it's
it.
like, wait a minute. He gets cut. Devin done gotten cut. But you keep ZZ.
I know.
Fucking ZZ.
Well, obviously, he just got there. But
No, but ZZ is a waste of fucking time and space. And this is what pissed me off with him.
Right.
And you can tell that ZZ's a kid because that's what he is.
Mm-hmm.
He took the money, he took his NXT money and brought a fucking bus. And he
Right.
said that,
That's
oh,
crazy.
this is my groupie bus because I'm going to have groupies.
Right.
Which means that you just pretty much told all the kids out here in America, hey kids, it's okay. You can buy, once you get money, go trick it off, go have lots of sex, and if you wind up with an STD or something, oh well, at least you had fun doing it.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
there's positives on the show. I really like seeing Tyler Breeze
Yeah.
work with people
Yeah.
and him backstage. This guy is definitely a ring general. I've been a fan of him, what he does in the ring, man. You know, ever since he was fought for the NXT title, and he's a very entertaining guy. But just there's some positives, I believe.
Yeah.
Don't you believe from this
There
show
are.
as well?
There are. I mean, you get
know.
a chance. I mean, it's just a backdoor view. It's like watching E60 when they did their whole thing with NXT, and you got a chance to look at Adam Rhodes. I forget who the other two people were. But it was like watching that, except for now you get a chance to watch it every 30 minutes on a Monday.
Right. I agree. It's an interesting show, and we can't wait to see more episodes. I think they're going to have another season after this one. But in the main event of the NXT TakeOver London, it's Finn Balor defending NXT Championship against Samoa Joe.
I'm not impressed.
No.
No. That's like me watching. I'm sorry, Samoa. I love you. I'm one of probably the few people that realized that once upon a time you were in WWE before you went back down to the indies, while everybody else is like, oh yeah, we finally got Samoa. No, he was already there, people. Do your research. But it's one of those where I love him to death,
Right.
but I put him on that exact same pedestal as Kevin Owens. It's one of those where Balor's a high flyer.
Right.
And I mean,
Yeah, it's not the particular matchup we want to see.
not booking wise, but in all honesty, there's not too many people on that roster that you would be able to put a Samoa Joe with. Only because, and I mean, Samoa Joe, just name itself, that's name recognition right there. So, I mean, if he wins it, the question is, after the whole Balor Joe feud is over with, who would he go up against next?
Right.
Even though we already know that they're going to bump Sammy back down to NXT, since now he's back from his injury, which kind of sucks, but in a way it makes sense. It's like, Triple H put it best. We got all these guys out on injuries. We bring up NXT people. Once these guys come back, it's like, what are we going to do with you?
Right.
Like, me personally right now, as bad as WWE, as bad as the main card is struggling, I would not want to see Balor on that main card.
So you're saying they should wait to pull that trigger?
Yeah, they should not put Balor on that card. Because, let's just face it, everybody hates Cena, but I'm sorry, once Cena comes back, you got...
Yeah.
You have
and
somebody...
Cesaro as well.
Right. It's like you have...
Orton.
Right, or Orton come back. You have people like Neville, when all of those guys came back the first time.
Right.
It was like, oh, what happened? Where's Neville? Or just like when Daniel Bryan came back from the first injury, Ziggler took the hit because Ziggler was getting all the heat. And then Daniel came back and it was like, screw you, Ziggler. We're back behind Daniel again. So it's like, you know, it would be nice to see these guys up on the main roster, but only way that's going to happen is that it's going to take people to retire. Because they're not going to get fired. They're going to need to retire. Or say, you know what, I want to do maybe 2 shows a month now.
Right.
Let me give the other guys a chance.
Definitely. I see that as well. But I think there's a good chance that Joe wins it and they create a feud as well.
I mean, it would be a nice feud. But after Joe wins it, who's going to be your next person?
Right.
Like me,
We'll
like
do
I
a
said,
rematch with Balor.
well, of course there'll be a rematch, but which is going to be another who the fuck was it? Sammy and Neville with this endless ballet that they had. And then all of a sudden, Sammy hat trick finally wins it. Everybody comes up, lifts him up in the air.
Right.
Out comes Kevin Owens, fucks up his damn body part. I forgot which one it was. But it's one of those where it will be nice to see. It will be very interesting, especially because in the case of this match, neither one of them are from there. So
yeah, the fans will be crazy for
exactly.
sure.
As opposed to when the match happened in Japan, everybody was behind Finn because they loved him there. So it's like now you're going to uncharted soil where, yeah, you have a fan base, but it's not a huge pop as opposed to like if they would have did it, let's just say in California.
Right.
And
or if they brought it
been,
to Ireland.
Right.
For Finn's case, yeah.
Exactly.
I know there's going to be a lot of people, for Finn out there as well, but it's going to be mixed reaction. And it should be exciting. It takes place this Wednesday. So thanks for Faye for giving your input on the Voice of the Voiceless Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Yes.
And
it's been
we'll
fun.
look forward to next month.
Let's get food.
Let's get some good. Keep the guests going now on your end.
Yes.
We had some good guests. So that was an awesome interview with Tony Scarpone. Love having him on, and check out PW Blitz December 19th.
Yes.
As Sean Lennon for Faye. This is the Voice of the Voiceless Wrestling Podcast.
Goodbye, guys.